Good morning, friends. Welcome back to Yoga with Paige if you've practiced with me before, and if you're new here, welcome. Today's class is focused on building up strength in the upper body, specifically for arm balances, but also just to be well-rounded in our practice. If you've dabbled with arm balances before, you know it takes a lot of strength, control, a lot of core work, and mind stability to really shift your weight slowly, find that spot where we can distribute our weight and balance on our arms. I've struggled with these a little bit more than back bends or the leg strength. So if you struggle with it too, this class is going to be perfect for you. Or if you're just looking to build up a little extra strength. We really work through those muscles. So let's get started. You don't need any props, just your mat and a great attitude. We begin class today in easy pose. Feet are crossed at the ankles. Sitting up nice and tall, readying ourselves for this intense strength building practice. We're going to start off slow to warm up the upper body, tucking the chin into the chest, taking a few gentle neck rolls, just rolling it to one side, back behind, over to the other side. Going one more round, noticing what this feels like in the shoulders, already starting to check in, and then reversing, evening out both sides. Checking in with our accessibility, our tightness, how our upper body and our arms are already feeling this morning. Maybe they're feeling super strong, that's why we're building more and attempting our arm balances. Whenever we've evened out, we can inhale, lifting the chest and the gaze. Bringing the right hand to the mat, reaching the left overhead. Nice side body stretch. Deep breath here. Exhale to switch. Each side one more time. Maybe going a little bit deeper. Pressing away from the mat, creating space, exhaling to switch, reaching back down, taking the hands in front of the chest and releasing the fingers, rolling out the wrists. Arm balances, inversions, uses a lot of wrist control, reversing, going the way that feels funky. So we want to make sure that we warm them up. We want to warm up the shoulders, the back, the wrists, the core. And then taking the hands apart and just clenching and unclenching the fists. Clench, squeeze them together and release. Spread the fingers apart. Make as much space as we can. Maybe start to wiggle the fingers. We feel the energy that's alive there, awakening it up. And then taking the hands up by the sides, the arms into these goalpost cactus arms. Inhale and exhale, just rotating the shoulders so the hands are coming down. We're just opening up through the fronts of the shoulders. Inhale back up and exhale to bring them down, moving with the breath. Just feeling the sensation of opening. This is probably not the rotation that we usually work with, so noticing how this feels. One more time. And then this time we're going to extend the arms nice and long and take the right underneath the left. Inhale, trying to reach palms together, reaching the hands up, creating a lot of space between the shoulder blades. Maybe rounding through the back, pressing the hands away from you, and pressing the back backwards, So we're stretching out even more. Exhale to release, send the arms out. I'm taking the left underneath the right. Opening up this space. Feeling this yummy stretch. Gently releasing, crossing at the ankles, and coming into our child's pose, sending the hips back, walking the fingertips out as far as we can, stretching out through the sides of the arms, the armpits, the shoulders. Pressing the palms into the mat. We're gonna roll up, shifting our weight forward, coming into this plank. We're still on our knees, gazing slightly in front of the hands, bending the elbows, dipping forward into this little chaturanga, and then pressing back up and sending the hips back, child's pose. So inhale to shift forward, exhale, bending the elbows, dipping forward, and inhale, press back up, child's pose. One more time. Keeping the elbows tucked in by the sides, already warming them up, child's pose. Taking the palms together, reaching the hands behind the head, walking the elbows forward. Getting a nice deep tricep stretch. Maybe walking the elbows a little bit more forward. Then bringing the hands down, coming up onto all fours, finding our tabletop, spreading through the fingers. Inhale, dropping the belly, cow pose. Exhale, rounding through the back, tucking the chin. Inhale, dropping the belly, opening the throat. Exhale, creating space between the shoulders. One more round. Nice deep breaths. Finding our static tabletop, spreading through the left fingers, taking the right hand behind the neck. So we're here, just opening up gently. We're not going to go super far. This isn't going to be a big range of motion, but we're grounding through the left fingers, active through the arms, and holding here. Then extending that right arm, taking the twist a little bit deeper. And sending that right arm forward, extending the left leg back, nice and long, gazing down at the hand. Exhale, crunch, knee to nose. Inhale, finding length. Exhale, crunch. Inhale, length, last time. Crunch. And release. Taking the left hand behind the head and finding our gentle twist here. Releasing that arm, deepening the sensation, maybe opening a little bit more through the chest. And sending that arm forward, the right leg back, sending it out through the heel, and in crunch. Out, nice and long. Crunch. Active limbs here, and crunch, trying to reach knee to nose. Releasing. Tucking the toes, sending the hips up, walking the hands out, downward facing dog. Pedaling out through the feet. Making sure the legs are warmed up, bending one knee and then the other, gripping through the fingertips. Finding our static downward facing dog, gazing at the hands, lifting the heels. Finding this nice length in the legs. Then rolling through the back, coming into high plank. When we're here, gazing at the hands, Bending the knees, bending the elbows too, sending the hips back up, downward facing dog. One more time. Lift the heels, roll through the back. Bending the knees, sending it up. I lied, let's do that again. That felt great. One last time. And gazing at the hands, gently making our way to the front of the mat, however we would like to get there. Forward fold. Inhale to rise, hands come above the head. Exhale, we open to cactus. Nice and strong. Inhale above the head. Exhale, opening through cactus. Drawing the shoulder blades together. One more time, big inhale. And exhale, cactus. This time straightening the arms, flat back, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, reaching through the crown of the head. Exhale, planting the hands, stepping back into plank. Taking our vinyasa, slowly lowering down, tucking in the elbows to the sides, maybe taking a push up here. Lowering down, and inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, over the toes, using the core. Shifting the weight forward, coming onto the elbows into dolphin pose, sending the hips up to the sky. Tapping, trying to tap the nose to the hands. Using the core, keeping it active. Feeling the nice stretch in the legs as we come back into dolphin, pressing our chest back. Exhale to tap. One more time. And then using our core, raising back up into plank. Extending the left arm out in front for this three-pointed plank pose. Turning our toes to the side of the mat, coming into side plank, reaching that left arm up high, taking the hips up, we're nice and strong, gripping through the fingers, and reaching that left arm underneath, kind of threading the needle a little, and back up. Reaching it under the right shoulder, and back up. One more time, back up. And we circle around back into our high plank to release the right arm in front, holding here. It's okay if we're shaking. Reaching up, turning onto the sides of the feet, plank pose, side plank, excuse me. And exhale, taking the arm under the left shoulder for a twist. Back up, nice and steady, active and controlled. Thread, and back up. One more time. Underneath, back up, and around to our plank, where we lower onto the knees and extend the arms out, coming into puppy pose. Taking a breather here. Letting our chest melt into the mat. Taking a rest for a breath. Starting to slow down our heart rate. Gently taking little pulses here. So onto the hands, we lift up the chest just a little bit, pressing deep into the hands. We're working the shoulders. Gaining our strength. And gently raising the chest, taking the hands into the chest, coming onto this tabletop, raising the right arm all the way up and threading the needle. Option to take the left arm straight up behind, taking a bind here, reaching for the other thigh, opening up through the shoulder, taking the gaze as far as we can behind us. Exhale to gently come out of the bind, pressing back up, taking that right arm back up and around. Peeling the left arm, threading the needle. You can take the same variation that we did on the other side, binding, breathing nice and deep. Exhale to gently release. Press back up, taking the left arm with us and back around. We're going to take the left leg up behind us, cross it behind the right, and come to sit on the sit bone, sending the feet out to the sides. Coming into cow face pose, we want the knees stacked on top of each other. Inhale, arms above the head. Exhale, dropping the left behind us. Trying to reach fingertips if we can. Nice deep breaths. Feeling the opening in the front of the shoulder and the hips. Exhale to release. And we can either just release and come into the other side, or we can take a fun little transition and press up onto our legs, twisting around so that the left leg is now on top. I don't know why I think that's so fun, but I just love it. Inhale, the arms above the head. Exhale, dropping the right behind. Trying to reach fingertips, noticing which side is a little bit more open. I'm sure there probably is one. One more inhale. And exhale, gently release. Wiggling out the fingertips. Extending the legs. Shooing ourselves to the middle of the mat. And rolling onto our backs. We can now take plow pose, shoulder stand, if either of those are comfortable and accessible in our practice. Shoulder stand, getting the feet above the heart and the head, letting the blood flow down, changing up the blood flow, maybe releasing into plow, taking the feet over the head. We can always come into ear pressure pose as well, bending the knees, taking the knees to either side of the ears. Whatever feels good to you here. If we feel any discomfort or pain, we release. And we can gently come out, hugging the knees into the chest. And if wheel pose is in your practice, I'm going to take that little back bend now. You are welcome to do so as well, pressing up from the mat, or however you would like to get into wheel pose, maybe a drop back. So putting my feet flat on the floor, taking my hands, fingertips, well, fingers pointing towards my shoulders, pressing the pelvis up as well as I press away from the mat with my hands. If you feel warmed up enough to add this into your practice, go ahead. Testing out that arm strength. Maybe we do a headstand or any other arm balance we want to try out. Crow, flying crow. Gently releasing out of the pose wherever we were, and taking a little counter pose. Anything else that we need to fit into our practice today to feel well-rounded, you can add that now. And gently making our way to a seated position. Taking the arms out by the sides, crossing the right on top of the left, scooping left underneath to get a nice little deltoid stretch. And then taking that right arm up, placing the palm onto the flat of the back. I just have my left arm kind of back here at my lower back to help me open up my shoulders. You can also take the left arm to the elbow, gently pressing it down a little bit more. And release, taking the left arm across for our last little stretches of our class today. Gently releasing. I hope you enjoyed this class. Give this video a thumbs up if you did. Comment your thoughts down below if you tried a new arm balance or if some of those drills were too easy, too difficult. Subscribe if you are not already to never miss more daily yoga with Paige. And I thank you for practicing with me today. This was a fun, kind of different little class, not the typical yoga vinyasa. So I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you next time on the mat, my friends. Namaste.